Welcome to today's 5 Good Minutes on Thanksgiving with Bryce Vaught.
In recent months, my wife and I have gone back and we've been rewatching the series Survivor. And it's a show that we kind of like. It's something that we can just put on as background noise in the house, and it's kind of fun to follow along each season. But I was struck recently, there's this group, a tribe that's on the island, and they're competing against another tribe to not have to go to tribal council and not have to vote someone out. And there's also a reward with it, that the tribe who wins this reward, I believe, if I remember right, they'd receive a big meal, a feast, something that they hadn't had for several days. And when this tribe won, it struck me that there was this individual on the tribe who, after they won and received the reward, he just fell to his knees and his face was on the ground, and he just kept repeating, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." And based on this, guy, we've been following him for a few episodes, and just on the surface, at least, it doesn't appear that he is someone who believes in God, or if he does, he hides it really well. So we don't know exactly what his worldview is, but it just kind of struck me that even people who don't believe in God have this natural inclination to express gratitude to something outside themselves. I know that this particular day's podcast will be released on Thanksgiving. And today, there will be families and people who gather around tables, and they will share about different things that they're thankful for. And even if they don't believe God, they'll be grateful, because we know that we're not, as individuals, in total control of the outcome of our lives, that there are things outside of us that contribute to whether we experience good or bad. And so the question is, if we're not giving thanks to God, who are we giving thanks to? And you might be listening to this and you might say, well, it's not that big of a deal if we don't necessarily explicitly give thanks to God. But I would argue that in Romans chapter 1, we see that one of the evil postures of the heart that actually led to the fall and humanity's rebellion ever since is a heart that refuses to give thanks to God. In Romans chapter 1, verse 20, it says that people, humanity, is without excuse, for although they knew God, they did not honor him as God or give thanks to him, but they became futile in their thinking. That it's one thing to express gratitude, and I think it's important to express gratitude to people when they do good things in our life, that we should let people know that we appreciate them and their activity, their presence in our life. But ultimately, as people of faith, our thanksgiving and our gratitude should be explicitly directed to God. It's what the Apostle Paul says, again, in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 20. He says, giving thanks in always and for everything to God the Father. That we are to be reminded that we're not in total control and that God is God. That giving thanks to God is one way that we keep our heart, or keep God on the proper place within our hearts. The reality is our hearts tend to want to exchange one God for another. Even after we become Christians, we tend to drift and sway, and we forget who God is. We want to make ourselves God. We lift something else to the place of God. And one of the benefits of practicing thanksgiving and giving thanks to God is it keeps God in his proper place. That it reminds ourselves that everything that we've experienced that is good, everything that we've received that's good, comes from the Father above, who gives good gifts. He's the one who blesses us each and every day with food, with family, with friends, with opportunity. Even today, as we celebrate this meal with our friends, we realize that this isn't just something that we've produced, but it's a gift from God to be enjoyed. And as we enjoy it, I just want to encourage you, take some time as you give thanks today and direct your thanks to God for all that he's done. That this is a proper act of worship for us as believers, and for those of you exploring faith to begin to look up and to see God's goodness and favor in your life. We want to say from Orchard Hill, happy Thanksgiving. We hope you have a blessed day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for joining us here today. There's a lot of great content to explore on Orchard Hill Plus and on the Orchard Hill main feed from the weekend. Have a great day.